All right. So our last show, episode 7, we went from movies and using people like characters as movies. Like we talked about Gareth Edwards and how he went to Hollywood
Right.
and being resourceful and how they become successful and what success is and all that kind of stuff and
What
what do you define your success?
what your why
Success.
is,
What your why is.
and what is your definition of success?
Yes, I am going to get a little ASMR. Um, I'll eat this in a moment. Okay.
Just become very self-aware.
Yeah, because all it's all about. So
Oh, that's funny.
we want to really talk about that now. I'm like all fired up because the last one we were like talking about. I liked how it went. It was kind of like a messy experience,
Yeah,
which would make some people have anxiety.
sure. And maybe we have anxiety right now.
Yeah.
We just hide it really well. Do
Yeah.
we? No, not always.
Oh, that's good.
Sometimes you see it on your face.
Oh, that's really good. Anyways,
So
yeah.
we are clearly unscripted here, people. We are just shooting from the hip. So we asked in our last show something to talk about. We got the movies was talk about movies. So if you went into
They
that-
helped us out. Talking about movies.
And then from movies we went into the whys of people, why they do what they do.
We talked about you starting your business.
What's your why? Me starting my businesses.
Me briefly like talking about my business.
Yeah, and then what your definition of success is, because if you try and live your life off of what other people's definition of success
You're
is,
gonna be unhappy.
you will be unhappy. So you need to know what your definition of success is. And it can change and it can evolve, but
Yeah.
it gives you like a thing to focus on and head towards. And then to always know your why. And why always know your why? Because when it gets hard, and it will get hard, and it should be hard if you're growing,
Yeah.
you need to remember what your why is.
Yeah.
So you can go back and go, okay, I have to keep going.
Yes.
I cannot give up. And if you listen to Ed Milet, he did an amazing
Yes.
podcast about that, where he was talking about like his why being like his family. And he's like, nothing. He like basically, I don't love anything more than I love my family, so I have to press on. I can't sell my family out because something got too hard. And that to me was like totally mind blowing, because it's so true. If you find your why, nothing is going to be so hard to keep you from it. And you do have to kind of like change your the way you go, the different things you do. You have to pivot and move. I mean, especially like we saw what happened in 2020. Sometimes you just have to be able to pivot. I don't know if you have OCD. I deal with OCD, but sometimes pivoting is not the easiest thing. And sometimes you just have to like step away and like get out of the fray.
Yeah.
And you have to like recalibrate your brain and pray to the good Lord that he can just help you pivot. Because
Yeah,
sometimes you
pivot.
do. You have to pivot.
Like Friends, pivot.
You do. You have
Are you
to
wearing your
pivot.
Friends socks?
I'm not.
I got her Friends socks.
Yeah,
Pivot.
He did. I love it. So anyways, being
Yeah.
able to pivot.
Being able to pivot and we got people on there. We got I think Meg is on. Hey Meg, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? So anyways, I want to talk about this. This fired me up, and I want to start it with I want to start with this. Let's start with Jim Carrey. I know he's
I love
funny.
Jim
He's a
Carrey.
comedian. I know, but let's listen.
Okay.
He is successful. He's
Yeah,
been
he's done
successful,
all right.
and then we've seen him going through life like after the success and what he's like defining everything. But I remember this story he told on a talk show, and I don't know if he was on Oprah. I think it was on Oprah back in the Oprah days. Back in the days of Oprah on television. I don't know why I talked like that. But anyways, he said, he told this story about his dad was a comedian. And that's why he became a comedian. He was a funny comedian. And he loved watching his dad. He thought his dad was awesome. Everybody thought he was great. But comedy and the entertainment, and he was in Canada, it didn't pay that well. It was like, when it did, it paid good, but it was like, it was not, a 9 to 5. It wasn't consistent.
Right.
And then his dad hung up the dream of, doing the thing he loved to do he became an insurance salesperson.
Because it was safe.
It was safe. He had a 9 to 5. He had a 401k, whatever, whatever they have
Things
in
that are
Canada.
important.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what in Canada. They had a bunch. He had a bunch of loonies. No, I'm just kidding. That's a type of coin in Canada. I don't know. But anyways, but they have, but he was in his office desk job doing his thing, and he saw his dad be miserable at that job, but be happy when he was with his family. Be happy when he was joking around, entertaining. He was happy with that moment. He worked so hard for this job, did so well, and then the job let him go. It let him go. And the thing he saw that his dad failed at was something he hated doing. He saw his dad fail at something he hated doing. And when he saw that moment happen to his dad, he decided right there, he said that I love doing that entertainment, making people laugh, entertaining, acting, that kind of stuff. I rather go try to do that and fail at that, knowing that I tried that.
Right.
And I'm going to try again. And failing doesn't mean stop. It means
No.
try to pivot and do it different, go a different direction, try something different. So he went for it and he goes for it. And then he did say too, he wrote himself a check for like what, $10 million, something. It was a lot of money. For services rendered. I always like that little thing in the memo. And then he has that framed because he ended up writing himself that check after he was successful, because that was his goal. He got there, but then he's also recently has said, or it was said something like he hopes everybody achieves their dreams so they can, how's it go? I'm going to butcher it. They can achieve their dreams. Oh man, butchering right now. He wishes everybody will achieve their dreams so then you can see that you're like, I think he says that you're going for the wrong ones, that you'll really know what your real dreams are or something at the end. Because what he does now, he paints, he does his artwork, and he does other things. And he still acts in movies because of his grandkids, I guess. That's why he was in the Sonic movie. But I
think he stepped away because he was just like, ugh.
He doesn't go in it for the money anymore because he has plenty of money. He's successful. So now he's like, well, what's my purpose?
But I think a lot of times with people like him, and I'm not saying this is for him,
yeah,
but with a lot of people
I
like
butchered
him,
his quote, but that was
I think people like go for something because there's a lot of money in it, and then like you succeed, right?
Yeah,
and then you're still unsatisfied.
Yeah.
And then there's just like, okay, so but if I get to this destination, then I'll be happy. And then you make it there, and then you're not happy.
You're not. And we were talking about that in the last episode, is if you do get there, this will make you happy. This is success.
It's like the dangling
They define
carrot.
it for you.
Yeah.
And you get to that person's definition of success, and it's not yours.
It's empty. Yeah.
You're gonna have this like, well, I have the house, I have the car. What the heck? Why am I so stressed out? Why have anxiety? And it's so weird. I'm gonna go a certain, like, once you're done. I'm gonna go.
Everybody has a purpose in life, right? Sometimes we know it, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes we maybe never really do know it, but there is a purpose for everybody. And I think if you're traveling in that vein of what your purpose is, and you are striving to do good and help others, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy doing things for others. I think sometimes, I love my mom, and she always says this phrase, but navel gazing. Like if you like, poor me.
We are live again.
Poor me. I'm just feeling, poor me. And you just like look down and you navel gaze and just think about yourself.
Yeah.
You're always going to be miserable.
So
if you
much.
are always worried about just poor me and looking at the negative, you're always going to be miserable. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. And sometimes if you will just, like, if you're in a moment when you're feeling that, do something for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, stop thinking about yourself. Look outside the world. There is a bajillion people that could use a smile, a hello, a hug, a high five, buy them a coffee. Oh my gosh, my friend Meg, I love you so much. She is like this like little angel. She, like, the other day I got a text message and there was a coffee and a pastry sitting on my step. I'm like, who knows my love language?
Yeah.
This new little wonderful human who who hasn't even known me that long, but she knows what blesses my heart, a coffee and a pastry. Like, she just stops by and delivers it. Even if she can't stay, she'll stop, drop, and I'm just like, I don't even deserve you as a friend.
Right.
But people, like, just look outside yourselves because there is so many people that could use something.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I mean, yes, there is success and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes we get so wrapped up in, like, that. It's like, ugh. At the end of the day and at the end of our lives, like, what are you going to look back on and be happy with?
Yeah.
It's not your paycheck. It's not your house. It's not your car.
No.
Nobody gives a crap about any of that. Okay. You might care about that today, but what are you going to do when you get your $1 million? What are you going to do with that? How are you going to help others?
Yeah.
When you land that job that you so badly want, how is that going to benefit you and help you?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that going to help others and benefit others?
Right.
So sometimes I think if you're feeling crappy and you're feeling bad and you're feeling down, stop thinking about yourself for a hot second.
Oh yeah.
And think about how you can help somebody else.
Other people. Like this is kind of a version of that when we're talking out to other people. This is kind of selfish too for me, because I feel like and I love that me and you get to hang out and do this because we like hanging out with each other.
Sure.
Weird. But I want to say, yes, Jonathan, we are live, and you haven't missed much because you were part of the last podcast recording. We're just taking that whole, what you define as a success, to a whole nother level. And did you see what Meg said?
Yes, okay. I love you, Meg.
And then Aunt Michelle said, enjoy the journey before you arrive at your destination. And I like what Aunt Michelle says, and this is our aunt. She's like, I was just thinking about this too, Aunt Michelle, who's watching right now, is that I was thinking about today while we were out on the boat in Harveston Lake. They have this little like man-made lake out there. It's actually a pretty good size. It's like a pond. It's a really big pond.
It feels like a big time.
Yeah. For Montanans, it's a pond.
Yeah.
For Californians, it's a lake. So anyways, and it was a little paddle boat. It looked like a miniature pontoon boat. Yeah. And I was enjoying that moment. Or like when you started talking to me about I want to do this, and I'm like, I just want to enjoy this moment right now. I was like, I just want to enjoy my feet on the ground.
Let's talk business.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm always thinking it too. I want to enjoy this moment. I want to enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
When I make my movies, I enjoy the behind the scenes and hanging out with everybody and doing stuff like they know, like those of who worked with me. I like when I was filming for the Rocktoberfest for the church, hanging out with Adrian, you, and Caleb, and us all just film. We were like a crew, and we had you feel automatically a part of something bigger than yourself, even though it was like it was just us. But it's fun to say we were the team.
Yeah.
Like you were on camera, and then he was on camera, and we're all doing all this other stuff. You become part of this community, part of something when you look outside yourself, and I don't know. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to just go this way, see what happens.
Yeah.
But I remember years ago, and not that long ago now, a year ago, but we came here a year ago.
Yeah.
But before that, we were visiting, and there was one particular moment where when you decide to do something. And I remember always when I decide to do something, I always like stand like in the living room, and it's like she's waking up with her coffee, or it could be in the middle of the night before we're going to bed, and I go, I know I'm about to do something different, or we're about to do something different.
Right.
Oh, I forgot to get you a plug-in.
Oh.
I'll get you a plug-in in a minute when I have to go up and change to remind me.
I got 20%.
Yeah, I can plug you in. But anyways, and then I'll look over. We're gonna try to read. We can see your guys' comments, so we'll try to bring them into this podcast for our live viewers, our live studio audience. Anyways, and so a year ago we came here to California, Southern California, and we're still in building and making things happen.
Yeah, because we came here on a wing and a prayer.
Right, a wing on a prayer.
We had nothing
planned, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that.
Sorry.
But it's no. I always interrupt you, so she's allowed to interrupt me as many times as she wants. I am the interrupter.
Oh, this is on camera.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it's okay. I know I have a problem. And I'm still working on it. At least I know I have the problem, right?
That's the first.
That's the first step
right.
in changing your life and growing, right? You grow. It's not a bad thing. You don't dwell on it. Anyways, I remember years ago working at Access Television, MCAT, and there'd be those long, cold nights. Like right now, it's getting cold up in Montana right now. And I was in Montana, and I get depressed because it'd get dark around like 4, and it'd be cold, and you couldn't really go outside because it was like icy, or it was that gray, this like low gray clouds. And then I would see people post things, the social media, what do you call it? FOMO? FOMO? FOMO?
FOMO.
FOMO?
FOMA?
FOMO? FOMO, where you fear of being left out, or whatever it's called.
Missing out.
There's other things in here.
Fear of missing out.
Thank you. Fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't fear of missing out. It was, I want to change it to depression of missing out on a life that I once had.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was looking in the past. I do see that. I figured out one thing with myself where I like to reminisce.
Yeah.
And I look at stuff, and I kind of figured out why I do that. And that's a whole nother thing. Well, that could be another show, but this could turn this into something right now, like what happened to the last episode.
Make a note for your next show.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot what why I reminisce.
See, this is a podcast like no other.
Yeah, this is. We're figuring this out. You guys are a part of it. And I do see everybody writing here, so I'm going to try to look and read it. I remember it was cold, and this happened a number of times, and I was sitting, and I'd be the last one at MCAT. Mm-hmm. I'd be closing up, and it'd be like me and one other person. They're finishing up their thing, or they would leave, and I just have to stay there because it's time. I'd just stay, because it's supposed to close at 10 o'clock or whatever that time it was. And I would, at that last few minutes after I got everything kind of done that I needed, and I'm just kind of babysitting, I'm just waiting until the people leave or waiting for the hours to go by. I'd find myself going on live feeds, looking at, even though they're at night, it'd be live feeds of the beach or like places I grew up at, Mission Bay, San Diego area. I'd find live feeds, and I'd look at it, and I find live feeds of like Venice Beach, like, because you could see people walking around. And I would do that also during the day, like right at 4 o'clock, it'd be like dark, and I would turn on a live feed and just have it in the background while I'm helping people. And I would sit and I'd look at that, and then I'd go home. I'd do the same thing. You saw me start to do that. I would do that. Like, it was really cloudy. I had to also get like a mood light because it would get gray. It gets dark in Montana. Yeah. It's beautiful there. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, not in January.
But it gets bad in the wintertime. And I still never got used to it. Yeah. I like never did, because I'm a Southern California boy. Was born in San Diego, went to San Marcos High School, go Knights. And I was like, I didn't have seasons. Cold to me with a puffy jacket was it's raining outside or a cold wind.
Right.
But I could still walk on the ground and not put a spacesuit on to go out into the outside to die. You don't want to die, so you put a spacesuit on, winter clothes. And I remember I get depressed to try to walk the dog, and the sidewalks would be full of ice, and it'd just be windy and cold. I can't walk. I need to walk around and stuff. And I used to in California. I would just walk. I could go walk anywhere at any time because the weather was nice. And I was like, did I make a bad decision? I'm up in Montana. Will I ever move back to California or any place that's like it? And this was just a thing. I'm just hung up on a technical thing. Okay. There's a point. I'm just trying to set the tone of like what I was going through. It's just something simple. This was like one thing. I was like, not like it was just like when you're depressed, you're like, I wanted to have nice weather. It was like one of those things. Yeah. Like, it's not like it totally destroying my life or anything. I was still doing work and doing things I love.
A lot of people in Montana go through what they call
the moody blues.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah, seasonal. And I was going through it, but I was like, I was used to it. I know this too shall pass, that kind of thing. Yeah. But I was just as I was watching these things, one time I went, what if we did move back to California? But I have a family now. And I'm like, this is going to be hard. How is this possible? I'm going to go here. I'm going. I feel something happening here. I'm going to go with it. I'm going with it. I'm doing it. Yeah, what, and I'm sorry if I don't, I see, we're also, if we don't mention your comments, I will try to get a comment back to you guys because I love what you're saying right now. But, I remember looking at that going, what if we move? But how's that going to work? That's impossible. I was already going, this is impossible.
Yeah.
I can't do this. That's impossible. There's no way. And this was years like before I do it. And this was not, I hadn't like popped to doing like, I can do everything. I'm awesome. Yeah, I can do anything that I put my mind to. We always say it, but nobody does it.
Yeah.
We always say, I can do anything I put my mind to, or whatever. You say, just go try.
And then you just cover it back
Get
up.
back on the horse. Just go, Jimmy. Get up and keep going. Don't give up. You better give up because that things you're gonna. You know how much that is. And you're like, you should just tell me go for my dreams. No. Do you know you can't? It's not affordable. You can't. We can't buy this. Money grow on trees. You know, things start to happen. These negative things start to hit you. Reality starts to hit you, like, and you're just like, reality tells you can't. The road's closed. You can't. You can't go that way. So then I started doing this. I started going, okay, the road's closed. Well, let's go. And I'd walk down and go find another road. Meaning thinking in my head, well, if that's not, is it really possible? Like, how can it be possible? We would visit California, come down. I'd be like, oh, this is great. And then we go home. Felt good to get in our house and be home. And be back in Montana. And then, you know, it was just the seasonal stuff. There was other things too. And Montana is so awesome. We have good friends there. We have our family there. Everything's great.
Yeah.
We have family down here too, and it's great. We have family up there, and it's great. And it's like that old small town, like you're in a Thomas Kincaid.
Snow globe.
It is. It's a postcard town. It's like you walk, like all my friends lived across the street. I'd be like, hey, how's it going? And you know,
Tony, hey,
yeah. Hey, Tony. We were making movies together. Yeah. Hey, Nikki. Yeah, our sister lived next door. Sister-in-law lived next door. It was awesome. Kids could run across the street. It was just awesome. We did Halloween together, the whole town. It was amazing. But
You're getting back to being sad.
I'm getting to. There's a point to this, and I remember looking at the computer screen, going, and then I remember going to the mall, and they had the store that had live feeds of Southern California, like Del Mar and stuff, and I'd be like, look at this, they have live feeds, and it'd be like, this is awesome, and I would start to do weird things where I'd go, I'm missing my hometown. I'm just missing that lifestyle. I'm missing the life of the nice. It's like, I'm okay. I love my life right now, but I'm missing this lifestyle. Is there
other opportunities
and stuff? And right now, everything's going great at the moment in Montana. Everything's great, and business is going good. I'm growing. Things are happening. We're having kids. Everything's going great. Careers changing, moving, grooving. Became a high school teacher. All this good stuff. And I remember, like, we decided, let's go. You came to me and you're like, what if we did move to California? Now you started saying it. And I'm like, okay, why? And she still had her business too. There's a lot of things that were like, this is impossible.
Yeah.
Everything said it was impossible to get to California.
Yeah.
And I remember telling people we didn't tell anybody. We were thinking about it between ourselves, but we put it out to our friends. But I finally we went down in April. This was the second time. First time we went, it was like hot summer, and we did the summer thing and did Disneyland and all that good stuff. No, we didn't. We did the beach and all that kind of stuff. We came back and we called it. We had a mission. We had boots on the ground.
Right.
And for some of my viewers who are watching, who were my high school students, if they're still up watching, I had wrote a resignation letter for the school before we came down in April. And I wrote it, typed it up, all nice, and sat on it. Said, okay, here it is. Ooh, and that's like the vision of like stepping on the edge before you jump.
Yeah.
And I do, and I talk about parachutes in one of my rants about putting on a parachute and what that is, an analogy of life. It's like what you've learned and the people you have with you and the things you've gone through, the experiences, and that's like your parachute. You're building up experience. Like you're actually going to be okay. Anyways, and you can help other people out and build their parachute up and make it big and strong. You go farther, blah blah blah. And then they turn into rocket packs too. But anyways, I remember that time we came down here, and we're boots on the ground. We're like looking, would this be possible to live here? Would this? It's very expensive where I grew up in San Marcos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that might not work. And plus, we were looking. It's so funny when you look back. We had different perspective too on like occupation, all this stuff. But then I started looking around, like I was applying for a job before I came down here. I was just like, I'm gonna just put the feelers out.
Yeah.
And there was that media place in Del Mar.
Yeah.
Contacted me and said I got the job.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah, we were
what?
We were driving down here in April, just for like boots on the ground, check out, just in vacation.
Yeah.
And you ended up applying for a job that popped up.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, and you had forgot about it. And while we were driving down here, you got a job interview.
Yeah, and they're like, we want to interview you.
Oh my gosh, like, is this happening?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I don't know, but like, we believe in God. So we were like, okay, like, the Lord might be moving. Because we felt a pull. To be quite honest, we felt a pull to move here. And it's weird because my whole family's in Montana. And I love them more than anything. And so leaving that was like the worst. But
hard
we
to do.
Truly believe like the only reason we were able to do this is because the Lord was like, go. You need to go to Southern California. But we were like, why? I mean, besides like the weather's nice, right? Like the weather's nice. It is nice. It's really expensive, and like politically it's like in a disaster state right now. Like everybody was like, where?
It doesn't too down here. It doesn't matter what side politically. They all say it's a disaster.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It's funny. Everybody's
it's a mess.
More together than I thought out here than I thought.
The news doesn't want you to think so, but like all of the Californians pretty much that we speak to are like, yeah, this place is.
There's not really a political divide.
Knows it's
From our perspective, where Montana's coming into this, it's very blended. Yes, there's different politics, but it's very like we're Californians.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, what's up?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Everybody knows it's a disaster.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm not sure where you're living under your rock. But anyways, but we just felt like the Lord was like, you go. And so when he got that job interview, we're like, oh my gosh, could this seriously be happening?
Yeah, it was weird.
And then you got your job interview.
I got my job, and I was in. So I'm still creating this picture here.
Okay.
No. I'm just like no. I love and yes, and keep on interjecting.
I like to like blah blah blah.
No. I'm not. By the way, she's awesome. By the way, right? Everybody give her a clap.
Stop it.
They'll tell you right now.
I don't want to hear nothing. La la la.
And so, anyways. And I'm in we're staying in my brother's room at the time. And so I'm in my brother Corbin's room, and everybody goes out in the living room. I have to do this live. I had to do a Zoom interview.
Because we were still in COVID.
Kind of in COVID, yeah. California was opening up, though, and everything. So I put on my phone, I do this interview, and they gave me the job right over the interview. I'm like, oh let me just tell you my situation right now. This is what's happening. I'm a teacher at a high school, and this is what I'm doing right now. I have my business up in Montana, but I'll come down and we'll figure this out. And they're like, great. They were like, that's great, because it was going to be like I work for like a. We thought for a moment that I can come down. We'll be here for a moment, just stay with grandma and stuff like that,
right? And
because she has a huge house, and like we take the West Wing. We're like the West Wingers. We're the West. Welcome to the West Wing. We're the White House. Yeah. Anyways. And I would commute to work, like crazy commute, like an hour and like almost 2 hours depending on traffic.
Would've been dumb.
Yeah. But we were like, well, maybe we're going to do this. This is crazy. It doesn't seem doable. We're going to do this. Yeah. So. I was like, okay. And now I'm like, am I going to give my resignation to the school? And I did.
Yeah.
And that's a whole. I talk about that on the podcast. Is the earlier podcast you go back, I go in more detail about that. But I gave my resignation. It was like a shocker to everybody. There was a shocker for me too. I didn't think I would be like, here we go. I thought I was actually getting ready to renew everything, my contract, do all that stuff with the school, and I was like, let's go this way. And she was like, okay. And the kids were like, yeah. And it was just like, this is insane. And the cat came, and the dog came. We all were, and there's a picture of our cat in a hotel. We found a hotel place that was I can't talk, pet friendly, and they allow you to have dogs and cats and all that kind of stuff. So we had a hotel, or animals were. It was insane. It was like, this is like the craziest thing. And the most, I think we're gonna look back as a family and be like, that was the most wild thing we ever did in our life. And that's what I hope one day is when I croak and I go to heaven, or I hope I go, whoa, that was crazy. Did you see what I was doing? That's where I'm trying. That's my goals right now in life. I want to get there. I'm right now. I'm still in that little. You're seeing me still like I'm trying. I hope soon something's gonna happen. That's another thing. I have a lot of things that you don't tell everybody everything you're doing. Right. You tell mostly what you're doing, because people are gonna. They don't deserve hearing your first dream. So like our first dream, we weren't telling everybody, because they don't deserve it, because people will shoot you. They will stop you. It's weird. They will try to. It's like a movie. They will like stop you because of their concern for you, like truly concerned for you, love, true love, or jealous. That's a weird one. Never think that's gonna happen, but it does. But anyways, so we came down here, and we're out at La Jolla, and it's evening time, the sunset, beautiful sunset, and the tide's out, and you see the tide pools, and the kids are just enjoying it, and we're out and we're in La Jolla, and I'm like, that was the moment where I was like, we are doing it. We probably have kids coming. We are making things happen. We've done it. I was like thinking about that version of me back in Montana, looking at that screen of the live stream, being all sad, like in my cold little, there's no way I can move back to California. There's no way. I was like, well, the finances, there's a job, I have my family. I was already building a wall to not go for something I wanted to go for. We are the only ones that stop ourselves from doing anything. That wall doesn't exist. You're like, oh, that wall exists. There's the financial, the reality. Yes, the road's closed. The wall, there's a barricade. A lot of that doesn't exist. You're saying, I can't, before you even try. How far do I want to go? I'm cutting this down so I'm not going too long with this. But then what happened was, we got here, we're in La Jolla, we're looking at the beach, and we still to this day, you'll see, we post videos going to the beach. We go to the beach, something happens, Caden gets in the Zen, Emery gets in the Zen, they just like, they're beach kids. They love the beach. I mean, it's great. Some people don't like the beach, actually. There's some people that just don't like it. We do. We have our little areas, our little places to go, and we're excited to find new places too. The coast is fun, just going down the coast and finding new places. Right now I just go to my old places, my old stomping grounds, because I know where it is, and now I can't wait until to go to new places, which is going to be great. But just going to the beach reminds me of that huge step we took, and went for it. And then all of a sudden, right now, we're here right now. We did it. And to me, when we said defining success, to me, that's a part of success right now. For me, is that we made it down here. Now, what happened was, and this happens, So I'm talking about we made it. We're successfully did it. We're in California.
We landed.
But people and yourself start to go. People around you and also yourself, you start to forget what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
You start to forget the why.
You discount your successes.
Because you're maybe a little tired. That's why it's good just to go walk. Take a walk. Go chill. Get off the phone. Get off your devices. Get off the TV.
Not yet. After a show.
Yeah. Not right now. Stay on, please. And go do what you always wanted to do. It's never going to be easy. The first thing you're going to say to yourself is, I can't. But I'm just telling you right now, we had no way of doing it. And some things happen when you, like the Field of Dreams, when you build it, they will come kind of thing. If you, man, I can go somewhere, and I'm trying not to derail. But you take that step of faith, things start to happen, good and bad. When we came down here, all of a sudden, before we came down, the guy said there's something wrong with the funding, I guess, of this place that I got in Del Mar.
Funds in, so.
And he was so embarrassed about it,
Yeah.
and nice about it. He's the nicest guy.
Oh,
he was the nicest guy. And I told him I'm cool with that, and I think he was so appreciative of me being cool with that.
Right.
He thought I would have another, reaction. I was like, I'm cool with it, even though we already had set in motion what we were doing.
Right.
We could have stopped right there. The job's not there. Why are you still coming? And we just went, let's go and figure it out on the way. Because you plan and you plan and you plan and you plan. And sometimes the plans get thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to, what you said, what?
Pivot.
Thank you. You have to pivot. And that's what pivoting is. Some people don't pivot. They freeze up and they don't. And I still do it. I still freeze up in certain things. There's some new things we're doing right now that we can't, we'll talk about later. But as we're doing some new things in our life right now, lifestyle, finances, and things like that.
I was trying to think of what that's called.
But you freeze up and you don't move forward, and then you end up going back, settling for what you always got. So you always do what you always done. You always get what you always got. Mm-hmm. And you set up and you're back in that cycle, And when we were flying here in April, I watched the movie Groundhog Day because I thought it was such a defined moment for me. That I was like, I'm breaking the cycle finally. I'm breaking the cycle because there's and while we were up in Montana, we didn't feel like there was a cycle, but all of a sudden, there's a moment in life where you're like, you hit the ceiling, and we felt like we were growing, and we needed to stretch our arms out a little bit, and it felt like we were in this like endless like cycle, and we were trying, and it's not working, and we kept on doing the same thing we always did, and we always got what we always get what we always got. And it was Groundhog Day. Yeah. And it was like every time we wake up and same thing and the same thing and the Groundhog Day. And when I was flying on the plane for Boots on the Ground, that's what we called our mission. We didn't tell anybody else. We started telling them when we came, like told my dad. We told like some people, we're on a mission, Boots on the Ground. We're on a mission from God.
True story.
Blue story. Blue story. Blues Brothers. Anyways, and we came down. It kind of looked like Blues Brothers with everything on my Mustang, packed up when we came down. But we came down on the plane the first time, and we checked everything out, and we got everything set up. And we're like, we have a plan. Everything's great. Resignation letter to the school. This is the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing to do, to give up my classroom. Because it was my classroom, and my kids were awesome, and there was kids coming into the next year, and I was telling them, I'm not going to be back. And just remember, I always tell them, when I'm not here, just know I'm going for my dreams. And I get emotional right now. I'm getting emotional because I'm doing it right now. And I can't believe it. I am actually doing it. I mean, I believe it. I've done little ones, but those little ones felt like huge.
Right.
And as you move forward and you keep growing, the things in the past that you did that felt huge, extraordinary, monumental, big leaps seem very small little leaps, to stepping stones to get you where you are now. Mm. And right now I can't believe that I did it. I did it, and I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it. And there's going to be changes and failures. And like I said, that job disappeared, but then I got hired all of a sudden by our church. to be the media director, and now I'm helping out doing that. It's part-time. I get to
like,
still do my
"Make
business.
movies."
Yeah, they're like, make movies.
Make
I'm like,
videos.
yeah, make our videos more entertaining, be creative.
Like,
They told
yeah.
me they needed more creativity. I'm like, I used to do creative media in Corvallis High School. I made this classroom called Creative Media, Corvallis Creative Media. And it's creative media. Creative media is just very general. You get to do everything. And I did it, and now I'm being hired to do creative media. And then while I'm down here, I get on a feature film called Kung Fu Slayers, and that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
I drove to LA because now I'm here. I can drive to LA like in an hour or 45 minutes. Drive to LA. I went on set and got a job being the film editor for Kung Fu Slayers, and met my new best friend Benny and Davey Williams, awesome dudes, and get to talk with them. They love movies, and they brought me on, and I've been having great conversations. Here's the wow or oh my gosh moment is if Delmar, while we're up in Montana, we found out there's no job. That was a full like, don't go for it. Let's stay and keep going, doing our thing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do now? Because you gave your resignation to school. Right. Well, I was like, well, I got Fastcoast. Fastcoast was going really well. I was doing coding for kids at Steamsville. I was doing other side work for the museum up there. I was, thanks to my buddy Nancy Bevins.
A lot of things
but I had people
still supposed to go,
but we felt like we knew we had to go,
yeah.
And we were praying about it, and
we came down here.
And I remember I even got onto my friend Kyle. Hired me on his movie with Kevin Sorbo. Mm-hmm. I got to meet Kevin Sorbo, really great guy. Meet a lot of other people, a lot of awesome people, and I got to work and do what I love to do. So thank you to my friends, Kyle. Thank you if you watch this. I don't see him watching right now, but he'll probably watch it later. And I can't believe that it was like, once that the school was done, Kyle hired me on his movie. Then things started happening because I started taking the steps. If I stopped taking the steps, I don't think anything would have happened. I'd be still doing my same thing. It wouldn't be as great. Maybe some things would have happened. But then all of a sudden, we find ourselves, I'm on this movie, working on a feature film with Kevin Sorbo. And he's like, I'm playing all these robots because I'm a character actor. I'm a mime, a pantomime. And they hired me for that. And playing zombies and doing all this stuff. And so really cool. I got to be like all the bad guys, basically. I got to play all the bad guys. And play good guys too, which was really cool. And that was still mind-blowing to me. That feels like a dream. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother podcast with Meredith helping us out.
Yeah.
And which is crazy. And when all this was happening, my dad even's like, come down. We got everything figured out for you. Just come and we'll figure this out. Because he was like, now in the moment, like, let's try. Let's not give up now. Let's see what happens. Because it's cool when people help you. They're seeing you do something that's scary, but they're not doing it. But they've done stuff similar before. Mm-hmm. They've gone through things before. They get to help you.
Right.
And they help you, which is really cool. So you need mentors. You need people to help you. And we came down, and then I got hired and with church, and now things are still happening. We're just building things. We're building things from scratch. I didn't even have a studio.
Yeah, there's a lot. Everything's been from scratch.
Everything's from scratch. Everything here is built from scratch. I just can't believe it. We still have our house packed up in a storage unit, in the cold storage unit in Hamilton, Montana. All our things, our whole house, couch, everything. Everything's packed up.
Because we don't 100 know what we're doing. We're kind of like, okay, are we going to buy a house?
What if this fails?
I don't think so much what if it fails. That wasn't my thought. But my thought was like, we want to be in both states, right? Like, we're Montanans in California.
Yeah, we know we want to have a place again.
We have the best of both worlds. So, like, we're Montanans and we're in California. So we're like, we put everything in the storage unit because we didn't know what we were doing. We literally came down here with absolutely no job. We had a job. And then the job had no money, so the job went away. And I was like, well, we're still going. So here's on a wing and a prayer. And we came down. and then he gets a job, and then he gets another job. And so God continuously will provide for you. Just keep moving forward.
I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I'm just going to read these, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thank you for watching right now. He goes, Christian, Danielle, and guys, he's talking to all of us here on the podcast here. He goes, I'm so glad you're doing this podcast. I felt kind of alone tonight and was desiring to talk with you guys. And ta-da, here we all are.
We are.
It's our club.
I love
We're
it.
hanging out.
And
and I'm going to just do this. I'm not throwing you under the bus. But I told her, I go, hey, I have my cameras. We're live right now. So when we walk in, we're live. At the end, she's like, I don't know if I like that. I go, right when we open this door, you're live. I walk and because when we start the live thing, I just turn on the camera. I have like 80s music playing in the background. And then we're also taping it, filming it. I like saying taping. It's like 80s. And she walks in. She's like, I don't know. And she sits down. At the end of the night when we went off live, she goes, I like that. And so now she's like, okay. So you got to try new things. Sometimes you don't think you're going to like it. Like at me too. I was like, I remember like anything I've tried to do, like teaching, I was like, I'm not going to like this. I'll just, and you're like, give it a year. Or give it 2 years.
Negative, right? We always see the
and
cup
then
is half empty first. I'm not gonna like it.
Right, and then I remember
I don't know how to do it.
Right, and then I remember seeing Miss Leonardi. Mm-hmm. She goes, Christian, how's it going?
Yeah.
Because I told him I'm trying it out. I don't feel I'm like I'm not a teacher. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I think I have a problem now. She's like, oh, what? Uh-huh. I go, I think I love what I'm doing right now. I love teaching. I didn't know I would love teaching because I've always had people tell me I'm a good teacher, and I'm like, I'm not a teacher. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're nuts. You see who I am? Like, I'm all over the place. I'm ADD. Squirrel. I mean, I'm even doing it during the podcast. So, and then Michelle said, you guys let go of everything and came down here. It was amazing to watch. You're making me tear up, Krish. Mm-hmm. And then she also says hi to Meg. She's saying hi to Meg. But anyway,
love you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for everybody.
Because we got church tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll have to go. I have to get up early. But I love to do this, and try not. This one's been emotional, but I've been pretty good, I think, compared to what I normally do. If anybody meets my dad, then you know why I'm emotional. We're both very emotional people.
We're big softies.
We're big softies. We love everybody. Anyways, so let's talk about. I kind of told you a story about looking at the computer live streams of warm areas being that creative depression, making it to La Jolla in California when we finally moved down here, and I'm like, we did it. And I remember holding you going, I can't believe we did this. Mm-hmm. And we got to do it together. Mm-hmm. And because we're still doing it.
Yeah, we're not done.
We're not done.
Started.
This is just you're seeing. This is like it's like I took a shovel and scraped the ground. I'm like, here's the foundation. This is where it's gonna go. Yeah. And there's just dirt, and I'm trying to show you the vision.
Yeah.
Like I'm building a house right here, a movie studio. Woo! Where's the money? I have no idea. I have no idea where the money is gonna come from, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna start, and it's gonna come. And when we started, we took a risk and we kept going. Things we never would have got hired by the church. I would have never got to work with my brothers, which I get to do every day. I would have not met my friends like Hunter, Adrian, Blake, and a lot of others I haven't mentioned. Sorry.
Our new sister-in-laws.
Hannah and Mariah. Oh my gosh, we have a new sister-in-law. My brothers got married. I wouldn't be able to just go hang out with my brother Chad, which I'm planning to do. If he sees this, I'm planning to do that because we talked last week about doing that. I think we're supposed to try something out soon. So I get to just go drive down and go, hey Chad, you want to hang out? And it's really awesome. I'm just like literally in another town, another county away, which is so great. And I love that I can go, do you guys want to go to the beach? That's like the best feeling. I used to go, do you guys want to go on a hike with me? Like we'd walk. I had my walks, my hikes. We want to walk to farmer's market. We used to do that.
I missed that.
I missed that too. But we're
We'll
gaining.
be there this summer.
Yeah, we'll be.
That's the beauty.
We're gonna be there. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna
Best
be.
of both worlds.
We're gonna be back in Montana at Christmas,
Yes.
so we're gonna be up there December 19th, to January 9th, I believe. I think I said those dates right.
Ish.
Around there, yeah. So if you want to say hi, and we'll still have to be doing this podcast, so we'll probably have to be doing it from there.
Also, I just want to throw this in really quick.
Yeah, keep going.
So, yes, I didn't want to go on live tonight because I was like, oh, I'm not mentally prepared. But I have to say, I did bring up the fact that I used to watch this couple that would always go live in the morning at 8 a.m. all the time, no matter what. They would be like done with their workout, sweaty, gross. It didn't matter. Like at 8 o'clock, they went live every day. It didn't matter.
Right.
And I told them, I said, I love that. I was always so excited when I would see their thing pop up because I would want to watch it. Sometimes they talked about really cool stuff. Sometimes it was just like blah, whatever's going on. But I was still intrigued. So I told him, I said, I want to do that sometime. And so, so here we are doing it, even though I said I wanted to do that. And then he said, let's do it. And I was like,
right.
I don't know. So what is a really great time for everybody? I mean, like, obviously this time worked out tonight for us because we came home. The kids are in the house, getting ready for bed. They're doing their own thing.
They don't want anything to do.
They're like, hey,
you guys want to come and do stuff? And they're like, no.
They're like, let us be more chilling.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So when is other good times for everybody for us to go live? Because we want to kind of make this maybe more of a, like, I would love to do it as a daily thing.
Yeah, we have people watching from Montana, North Carolina. Jonathan says it's 1 a.m. over there.
North Carolina? I've always thought he was in Florida.
Yeah, I thought he was in Florida too. I thought he moved over there.
But
wow, see, we get all connected with this technology.
Yeah, so
it's amazing.
what times of day work best for you guys?
For everybody.
And, I mean, obviously, we'll have to figure it out with what works for us too. But consistency, because in the last podcast, that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Even though we might seem all over the place, we're figuring this out.
All over the place.
We are figuring this out.
You're watching us build from the ground up.
Yeah, we are. And I can't believe we have viewers right now watching right now. Even it's like right now it's just a few, and I love that. I'll still, like, as a mime or as a performer, if I have one person, I'll still perform. If there's nobody in the audience, I'm supposed to do something, I will turn on the music and perform to heckle people out of where they are to come into the audience. Mm-hmm. I will do that. So I'll go to you. So like, even like to me, like this format, which is cool, is we tape it, we re-show it. It's also, we'll heckle people to come in. So we're going to, hopefully we'll grow this and we'll see it, which we will. I mean, if you're consistent, you do grow things, people find you. Was this, almost any time, maybe just Jonathan says just pray about it, maybe anytime. Pray. Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm just gonna turn it on live. I've been testing out. I turn on live, see what happens. I turn on live, and I like that I can pre-title it before I put it out, which is really nice. I like that. Michelle agrees. Joey says it's midnight for me, so I might not be able to watch every time if it's at this hour.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely start doing it earlier.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll definitely do it. We were doing a lot of stuff today. We were supposed to do this at Harveston Lake. We're gonna go live from like because we can. This is very mobile. We can go local and stuff and go live from any location. So we were gonna go live from there. So then when people are walking by, that's another way of marketing. So so we're gonna start to go places and go live, and if people come by, they can talk to us, and who knows what will happen. It's a live show. It reminds me of when I used to do live shows with like Jonathan, Scott on Access Television, and you never know what could happen. Yeah, crazy things happen.
The cool thing is too is like just being able to like read people's comments, and not that we've been able to hit all of them, but. It's cool to be able to like interact. This is fun.
Yeah, and we need this. Yeah. This is our way of not navel gazing, like you said in the last podcast. Like your mom came up. Don't navel gaze. Look up and go for your dreams.
And help other people out.
So, I can't believe we're doing it right now, and we're in the midst of it, and we won't give advice of anything we haven't done. But we'll talk about the things we're going through, and we'll give advice about the things that we've gotten through, and did have a turnaround or a successful moment. I know there's people right now that will watch this later that are not live right now, and people are watching right now. immediately when you say you can't do anything and it's not possible, is you've already closed the door on your dreams, and you're letting somebody else choose your reality. You're letting somebody else choose your life. You're letting somebody else define what your success is going to be. And you can change it by taking that risk of going, how am I going to do this? Like, whatever, like our way, how we said we did it is our way. You need to find your way to do what you love to do. By after you define what you want to, what success is, define what your success is, so nobody else is defining it for you. And then also make sure that is what you're don't, because sometimes you'll be like, oh yeah, I know, I want a lot of money in the bank, I want a house, mansion,
Right.
I
That's
want
all
this
good.
and this. Yeah, those are good things, but really think about, like, okay, what am I happy doing most of the time that I just do without thinking? I poop. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I just had to do that. But anyway,
Well, we
sorry.
made it through almost 2 podcasts about that.
Sorry. I just feel comfortable. No, I'm just on the toilet and I feel great. I look at my phone a lot. No, like my son really likes to make characters and paint and draw and make
Stop
movies
motion.
and stop motion. And he turns it about. That's what he loves to do. So we kind of know there's something there brewing that's going to become his why and his definition of success. My daughter loves to paint, and she always says, I want to be a boss. She likes to be in control and in charge.
Yeah.
We already see she's probably
Yeah.
going to be bossless. She's going to be the boss.
Yeah.
And she's right now, there's things brewing right now while your kids play and stuff, and while we play, they're brewing right now, and things are happening. Yeah, I saw what you said, Joey. That, yeah. um, um, but it, and like you, what we're talking about, you like nutrition stuff, and you like health stuff, you like documentaries, you like business things. There's something brewing there, which is actually you're doing some stuff right now
Yeah.
about that we'll talk about later as we get there, and we'll also be marketing on here in a moment, probably, as we wrap up this podcast. Um, and when I was a kid, I just liked telling stories. I remember I always was making a movie. I always wanted to make a film. I was always acting, miming. I was doing makeup effects and monsters, and I was always obsessed with like shows and doing things and acting and performing. I liked making people laugh. And that was my thing, and still is my thing. I still do it. I just did mime at the Rocktoberfest and did a little gig there, and I love doing this stuff. I love acting. I'm an actor, so I acted in a movie with Kevin Sorbo. I did that, and and I make my own movies, so I can act in my own movies. And we're doing movies right now. We're making a movie, Metal Rebound, Pirates Cove, all these films, action, zombies, monsters, action, or whatever. We're doing all these movies, so I can act and do these things, and then. And I love making movies, and so I'm an editor. I'm a professional film editor. I'm editing a movie right now, and there's just so many things I love to do, and I also do it for free for people too. I'll like do things just to not navel gaze, so I can go help out. Right now, I'm doing a pro bono job for a friend of mine, and it's just fun. It's fun that they are like, "Oh yeah, can you do this for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I love to give, and then I love that I get paid for it too. You start to get paid for the things you love to do. um Figure out what that definition is for you. What is success to you? Is it going to the beach with your family when you can go to the beach? Is it, and then what's the next thing that you want? What's the next thing that you want? Have that goal. Where do you want to be? What's your why? What's your definition? Why are you doing this? When are you going to do it? When are you going to take that next step?
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast. And I want to say, I'm going to end it with I don't know why I'm getting emotional about this. It's a silly story. It's just simple. It's not like ha ha. It's just a simple story. Me and Katie were in the beach. Maybe that's why I'm getting emotional. We were in the beach just swimming, and it's like October or whatever, right? It was October, and we were swimming in the beach, and while everybody's freezing up in Montana, we compare that. We're like, I can't believe we're here. And we'll hear your parents and our friends say, it's snowing. And we're in the ocean. And I'm just like kind of up to my trunks. And Caden's like full in. He's like,
Yeah.
he's going to be surfing soon. He's like, that boy loves the beach. Even Emery now, she's like, first I didn't think so. And now she's just like obsessed with it too. We're, and you too.
Even though Caden's like, I'm a Montanan.
Yeah, he's still Montana though. Still cowboy hat and the buckle's still there.
Even though he'd never wear
No,
that.
he'd never wear that, but it's still in him. Still a country boy. Anyway, so we're in that water, we're in the ocean, and then I go, should I just go full in? Because I was just gonna go like halfway in, come out. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't bring a towel.
Yeah.
I didn't bring a towel, and he looks at me, and goes, Papa, no risk, no reward. And then he goes into the water, and I was like, my kid looks so cool right now. That is the coolest thing. And I just went boom right in the water. I got in, and Kaden looked at me, and I was like, yes. And I was like, this is so good. And I don't even care how I'm gonna get dry, but I know it. And the sun was setting, and I didn't have a towel, and that's what life is when you're going for your dreams. You get to the water, your feet touch the water, and then you start to see those waves, and then you analyze it. Analyze paralysis.
Paralysis by analysis. Yeah.
Thank you. That was what we were thinking
Yeah.
of. And you don't go. You just
like,
look at it, and you watch all the other people enjoying it while you're just standing.
And then you're just getting
Not
bitter
doing it.
and mad because they're doing it and you're not.
But you can do it.
Can.
And you get in the water, and then you freeze, and that's too much. You walk out.
Yeah.
And you see the waves are big, and what we're doing in life, we're going towards those waves, and we're learning to ride those waves, and we're gonna have a blast doing it, and we're gonna fall, and we're gonna fumble, and we're gonna get sand and dirty, and we're gonna get turned upside down, and it's gonna be scary sometimes, and we're gonna be like underwater sometimes, and it's gonna be, you don't know how it's gonna work out, and you're gonna feel alone, and there's gonna be danger. But I'm gonna end it with Caden going, hey Papa, no risk, no reward. And he just jumped in the water. And I was like, I'm going. And we went.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to do the same thing.
Yeah. We
Go
believe
for
in
it.
you guys.
You can do it.
guys
We're
can
doing it right now. You're gonna watch us do this. It's like an ebb and flow, like success. What's happening? Success.
Oh my God.
Pivot. This isn't working. We were supposed to go this way.
Right.
The road is broken.
Yeah.
No, you have to go this way. It happens all the time. In California, you're driving, off ramp blocked. But I was gonna go this way, and then I go this way, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't know this existed over here. Oh, and I finally get to my destination, but it wasn't the route I planned in the first place.
Never really is.
Well, my name's Mr. Ackerman, and this
Is Danielle Ackerman.
and you've been listening to the Mr. Ackerman Rant Podcast 3000. Guys, thank you for watching.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. We're available at christianackerman.com. You go there, all our podcasts. You can even listen to all our podcasts on there. We have a bunch of them right now. This is episode 8 for those live watching. Episode 8 won't be coming out until next Monday. Not this Monday, next Monday. They always come out 6 a.m. on YouTube. And they're always there at christianackerman.com. We're also on Apple Podcasts, and we're also going to be available on some other streaming sites, especially for Android phone users. Right now they can listen to us on YouTube. And then, the other one is Podbean. We're on Podbean.
Oh, okay.
And so you can listen to us. Those Android users can listen to us as well. But if you have an iPhone, you can go to Apple Podcasts, or an iPad. You can listen to us there. And we are on that, and you can listen to us. And please give us some stars, likes. Even if you don't listen to it, just give us some stars and likes and stuff. And we're going to do this new format where we're live, and we're going to show you behind the scenes. That's why I say BTS, behind the scenes. And we're going to also tape these, so you'll be able to watch this again. Also watch this again on Instagram. We're figuring this out. We're figuring out all this out. And guys, thank you for watching. Thank you
Yeah,
for all
'cause
those who are
this live
watching.
will be saved on Instagram.
Yeah, and thank you for those who watched later.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, because
Thank you
we
for all
had
our
a
live
handful of people. We had 6 people tonight. It was awesome.
I think we had 7 at one time.
We did have that. Yeah. Whoa, 7 people.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
that's
we gotta
awesome.
Start somewhere, right?
Some people, the person walking by, like, yeah, it's 7 people. That person is miserable.
That person is miserable.
They're
sad.
They like to see people. I mean, sometimes it's funny to watch slapstick comedies where people fall on their face, like funniest videos. But anyways, you've been listening.
That's planned.
That's
not
planned.
real life. We don't want to watch people eat it.
Right. No. So thank you for watching. This has been Mr. Ackerman Rant Podcast 3000. Thank you, guys.